Hey guys, usually when I do videos like these, I usually record the live reaction to the TCG ban lists because that's the region I play in. However, I'm making this a special exception because we're both going to be getting the same rule change by April 1st where we can summon as many synchros, XGs, and fusions as many times as we want without caring if we have, link monsters to open up those zones or not. We don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. Pendulums are still going to be treated the same except for the ones that are originally from the extra deck. And the pendulum rules are still the same otherwise. And links, are still a thing. You still have to summon. You can summon links on the extra monster zones now without having to put them in the extra monster zone first, and that's going to matter a lot actually, especially with nightmares, because one of the issues with nightmare monsters, if you want to get the co-linked effect, was you had to set them up in specific order. But now that you have access to the monster zone very easily, you don't have to do that stuff anymore. You can just set it up any way you like, and that makes the co-linking so much easier. Not to mention, we have 2 new erratas that come with this OCG list, so obviously that matters as well. So I've not actually seen what they did with Makura, nor the other one, which we will get to in a sec. So here's what they did. You can only activate this effect once per turn. Okay, that's fair. When this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can activate this effect once during this turn. You can activate a trap card from your hand. This is exactly what I thought they were going to do. There was someone who wanted this card back with an errata. We didn't believe him, but we gotta owe that person a drink now because they called it. They actually called it. That's kind of ridiculous. So the first change they did was that it has to be in the monster zone now, because originally you could just dump it to the graveyard with Foolish Burial and you'll get the effect immediately. Now it has to actually be on the field and sent to the graveyard. However, it does not really care how it ended up there. So if you tribute over it, if you use it for a link summon, if you use it for fusion, whatever the case may be, that effect will trigger. It is a optional if can trigger, so that means it will not miss timing. Also, it is now once per turn, and you can only activate a singular trap card from your hand, from the hand, which I think is a good thing. So this pretty much balances the card out a lot. I don't know how good this card would be with this errata. Like, could this card have any viability? Well, maybe if there's like a weird combo, maybe like it be on the same realm as Boogie Trap. I think this is better than Boogie Trap because Boogie Trap's a spell, but this is a monster. That does make this a lot more searchable. So yeah. So we got Makura, the Destructor errata. I don't know where it's going to end up on the list. And I don't know when we're gonna get this errata as well. It's also coming out in the Duelist of Gloom, which could explain why Merrick is in the set. So that's kind of neat. Red Eyes Darkness Meldragon. That is the promo. That's the promo for the rulebook, and the rulebook always has like an errata card, and that is the one. So we have Red Eyes Darkness Meldragon back in the OCG. What an errata. The TCG never actually banned it, for the record, but we might get that errata very soon, so that's interesting. The card was originally banned because of a Gendora FTK, which is something that doesn't quite happen in the TCG because our version of Gendora is actually different for some reason. Like, they mistranslated the effect, so we didn't have the issue compared to Red Eyes, to the one the OCG has. So Red Eyes Dark Dragon was banned because of that, although to be fair there were many other reasons. So I wonder what they did with it. Also the new artwork for it too, that's really cool. So you can only special summon a card with this card's name once per turn by its first effect, and can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So basically, you can special summon this card for banishing one dragon monster you control. You can only special summon Rise of Darkness Meldragon this way once per turn. And during your main phase, you can special summon one dragon monster from your hand or graveyard, except Red Eyes Darkness Meldragon. You can only use this effect of Red Eyes Darkness Meldragon once per turn. So the first thing they changed was that you can only special summon this card once per turn by its own effect. And not to mention, when you use the effect to special summon a dragon from the hand or graveyard, it is a hard once per turn now. It is not soft anymore. So that means even if you find a way to summon this card over and over and over again, you still cannot use that second effect. So that is actually a really good change. That is absolutely necessary change. I'm actually glad they're bringing this card back. It's cool they're bringing this card. I mean, the card was really busted, so I'm glad they eroded it. So it's a bit fairer now. I like it. So now onto the list itself. As you can see, you see the face of fucking Dinjin Releaser. So you have Releaser here. Releaser, believe it or not, was never ever banned in the OCG. I know that's kind of crazy, but they never banned that card whatsoever. Even when Necros were in full force, they never banned this card ever, which is bizarre because the card is just terrible in design. Like, it's just a terribly designed card. Basically, if you use it for a ritual summon, the other player cannot special summon at all, and even if you take control of that ritual monster with the lingering effect, you still cannot special summon. Releaser had a lot of confusing rulings and all that shit, and honestly, I'm glad that's gone in the OCG as well. Like, I'm surprised that the OCG grew a brain and realized that Releaser's a problem. But there's a couple of more hits. I don't know what they are. I have an idea, but not sure. Thunder Dragon Colossus has to be banned on this list. There's no way they're going to allow it. So here's the new ban list for the OCG. Keep in mind, this is for the OCG, not the TCG. But a lot of the hits here might actually happen in the TCG as well because, again, of the rule changes. But they're also hitting a bunch of cards that were a problem in the OCG meta. So let's see. There it is. Digi Releaser Rituals. So it's a lingering effect that's hard to counter. There were very, very few outs to Releaser back in Necros format. But but this card was a problem again in the OCG because a lot of decks sprung up which uses, I believe, Dragoon. It was a Dragoon deck with Releaser. I think that was the case. And yeah, Releaser was just a really busted card. And I'm really glad the OCG realized this card just not fair. So. Alright, so they got rid of one of the Guard Dragon Elfie. I don't remember what this one does. I think that's the one that special summons from the deck. I think it's either the one that summons from the deck or the graveyard. I don't know. It's one of the Guard Dragons, Link ones, which is fine. I'm not a big fan of Guard Dragons. I really never liked them. And there was actually a Guard Dragon deck in the OCG that was circling around, so that might be why they had to hit it. I'm okay with that because, you know, Guard Dragons are just stupid in design, and not to mention they were going to be a huge problem with the new master rules, so that's fair. And also IB is banned. I mean, we banned IB. We banned IB back in January, so I'm not surprised they banned it now because IB is a terrible card in design. Like, it's kind of stupid what you can do with it. When it synchro summon, it can fetch a World Legacy card, and when it dies, it special summons a World Legacy monster from your deck. It's basically like, the card is essentially like a Denglong, but except it's for World Legacy stuff. It's not well designed. It's not well designed at all. It was just way too powerful for what it could do. So, yeah, that makes sense. So those are the only banned cards. I'm actually surprised it didn't ban Thunder Dragon Colossus. Like, that's weird. They, like, I don't know why, because the Corridor, there's a card known as Nemesis Corridor, I believe that's the name, that can make it super easy to summon Thunder Dragon Colossus. I'm actually surprised they didn't ban that card. I don't know why. You'd think they would have done it, but they didn't. We already have Colossus banned at TCG, but the OCG still has that one, so I don't know. That's very weird to me. Unless they already hit it, but I don't think they did. Alright, limited cards. Alright. ABC Dragon Buster again! Oh, wow. This card was, I believe it was at 3 in the OCG, but they limited it again. I guess it's because the card is just going to be really good in the new rules, because this is one of the hype decks that's going to be good under the new rules. What can I say? You discard a card, you can banish any card in the field. I believe that is a quick effect. I could be wrong on that. But also, during the opponent's turn, you could tag it out and summon 3 monsters to the field. Very good. It's really good at what it does. Very easy to summon in an ABC deck. Yeah, I have a feeling that the OCG really does not like ABC, so yeah. Okay, this is the one of the hits I actually knew about. So I knew about this hit, Galatea. Galatea is a really, really dumb card. If I remember correctly, monsters that are targeted by Galatea, you know, in the monster zones and shit, they cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. I think that was the case. I haven't played against Orcus in like forever. I haven't played the game in a while, actually. There was also the fact you can fetch a Orcus spell and trap directly from the deck onto the field. Usually they would fetch the Orcus counter trap. Galatea is perfectly fine at 1. I'm okay with that. I think that's the right call because multiples was just rough. Horror is limited. I don't know why they couldn't just straight up ban it. The TCG banned it, which honestly was the right call. I don't know why they limited it. It's whatever. Junk Speeder is limited. I mean, yeah. This is a card that I'm not going to be surprised they're going to ban straight up in the TCG. They're going to ban this card eventually because this card was perfectly okay in like new Master Rules, the Link rules, but now with these new Master Rules April 1st, 2020 edition or Master Rule 420. Junk Speeder was going to be a huge problem. Like, holy crap, that card was just going to be disgusting. It summons a bunch of monsters straight out of the deck, and because Junk Speeder no longer occupies the monster, doesn't have to occupy the extra monster zone anymore, that gives you a lot of potential plays. So because of that, Junk Speeder is a problem now. So I'm glad they did something about it. Mikura the Destroyer. Okay, so this is the newly errata version. So you have a Mikura the Destructor errata. So it's at 1. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually put it at 3. Maybe they'll put it at 3. I don't know. Spiral Quick Fix is limited again. They put the card at 2, I think, or 3 in the OCG. But with Spiral's dominating formats again, like with the new Magician's Soul card, Quick Fix at 1 makes a lot of sense. Like, that card was stupid again. Although I'm surprised it did nothing with Master Plan. Like, Master Plan is a huge problem card for Spirals right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Master Plan gets banned eventually. Zen Mighty at 1. What? Sure. In case you don't know, Zen Mighty was actually at 3 in the OCG. Now they put it at 1. Sure. Why not? Why the hell not? I guess they're really scared that windups are going to be dead, are going to be super good again. Like, okay. That's unexpected. Windup Magician as well. Jeez. I don't know. Maybe they have some crazy windup support coming on the way. Or there's some potential combos I'm not aware of. So, yeah, that's a little surprising. What year is this? Dragoon Erratas got limited. Yes. They actually hit the card. Okay. Would have been nice if it was a ban, but I think the limit is perfectly okay. That means you don't have to deal with multiples. That's fine. I think limit is okay. They're gonna have to hit the Predaplant Link monster eventually, and maybe Red Eyes Fusion, maybe. Dragon of Red Eyes was a meta-defying card. Like, that card single-handedly defied the meta. Even like every deck had a copy of it. It was so stupid. It warped the format so much. It was dumb. Hyper Librarian got limited. This is not surprising. This is not surprising at all. That is perfectly understandable. So, yeah. Hyper Librarian at 3 is a big mistake right now with the new rules. Like, God, could you imagine? Like, we're back to Synchro Spam days. Like, no, that's not okay. Hyper Librarian should go to 1 in the TCG. Cyberstein at 1, that's fair because in the TCG, in the OCG, I believe the card was like at 3 in the OCG, but now it's back to 1, which is exactly where it needs to be. I mean, a ban would be nice too, but I think they're playing it safe with they're tiptoeing towards bans. They're not like babies. It's like baby steps. Cyberstein or Cyberstein or whatever name you want to go with. You can summon any fusion from your deck by paying 5,000 life points, which is a lot, but with the new rules, it's not going to occupy the extra monster zone, which was one of the annoyances. But yeah, it would have been dumb. Trishula back to 1. Like, okay, it was at 3, so it's back to 1. Again, this is a hit I wouldn't be surprised would occur in the TG as well, so that's fair. Oh, they did hit the Predator Point Link monster. Okay, they did hit it. Okay, this does absolutely nothing. This does absolutely nothing because you only need one copy of this card. That's all you need to play Dragoon. This limit is completely pointless. This solves nothing. This solves absolutely nothing. The only upside to this limit is that now you cannot play this in a deck with Extravagance. I guess that's the only benefit. But other than that, no, this does nothing. Oh, wow, they hit Scorpio. Oh, boy. So, Scorpio was part of an engine where you played like 3 Scorpios and 1 Daring Cobra. I think that was the name of the other one. Basically, you discard a monster card from your hand to with Scorpio to special summon the Daring Cobra from your... Or is it Darling Cobra? I don't know. It's one of the two. From the deck, and when that card is special summoned by the effect of a Predator Plant monster, you add 1 fusion or polymerization card from your deck to your hand. You search Brilliant Fusion usually, but that card got banned in the TCG, so I don't know. I think it was limited in the OCG as well, but I don't see it banned here, which is weird. But that was not the only fusion card you could fetch. You could fetch like Super Polymerization with it. I believe you could fetch Polymerization cards, so that, yeah. It's pretty nuts. Totally Awesome got limited. Okay. Oh boy, they're really hitting a lot of cards now. Totally Awesome was at 3 in the OCG. They actually scaled it back, slowly back to 3. Now it's back to 1. Like, okay. Cool. You might as well have just kept it at 1 the entire time. Totally Awesome is really good. You play it in Paleozoics, but you can also summon it with Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark. It's the rank 3 that requires 2 level 4 waters, and you can summon Totally Awesome straight out of the deck. You don't even have to play in Paleozoic Frogs. You don't have to. You could also summon it in a True Draco deck with Metaltron 13 with in an extra deck, True Draco deck rather, because. If you're playing a True Draco deck with an extra deck, you have to play Totally Awesome because you can summon it with Metaltron 13, and that is really funny. Link Cross got limited. Okay, now that is a good move. Because Link Cross was involved in a lot of crazy combos. And yeah, this is not surprising at all. I don't know the extent of the combos, but I don't know if a limit is the right call. I mean, a ban would have been more necessary, but that's cool. They actually realize this card's a problem, so that's cool. So here's the Rise, Dart and Metal Dragon, Errata limited. I'm not surprised if it's going to stay at 1 forever. I think that's the right area. Insta Fusion got limited. Oh wow. Oh wow. They actually hit the card for once. The last time the OCG hit the card was because of Norden. And once Norden got banned, they brought the card back to 3, but now the card's at 1. Oh, wow. They are really hitting hard on this stuff, man. The TCG has never, ever actually hit Instant Fusion in any single way. So I'm wondering if the next list we're going to be getting is the time when it finally gets hit. Instant Fusion is a really good card. I don't think anyone is surprised to hear that. You can special summon any level 5 or lower fusion from your deck. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. You cannot attack and the monster is destroyed, but in Orcus that doesn't matter, because if you summon it under Galatea, you summon Winda and place it under Galatea, or you happen to have Dingirsu out on the board, it will not die, and that is really freaking frustrating. And even without the Winda play, there's still a lot of other things you could do. Like you could summon like the Wind Invoke monster to flip something face down. You can summon like the Millennium Eyes Restrict, Thousand Eyes Restrict. There were tons of other crazy combos you could do with Insta Fusion. It's like a free tribute, it's a free link material, it's a free XG's material, it's a free synchro material. It's a free material for whatever you need, and that's really stupid. So Insta Fusion getting limited is perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. I love Insta Fusion, don't get me wrong, but we have to admit the card's just not fair at 3. Light Stage got limited, okay. We had this card limited for a while now. It's one of the best Link 2 setups ever. Basically, you play Light Stage, you fetch Candina, then you use Candina to fetch the Trickstar that special summons itself when it's searched. So you have 2 Trickstar monsters, then it could go into a Link 2. Just like that. Super easy to set up, which was dumb. So Light Stage being limited is perfectly okay. Brilliant Fusion is limited. Okay, I guess they had the card at 3. Okay, so Brilliant Fusion, there it is. Alright, Brilliant Fusion lets you dump a Gem Knight and any monster to the graveyard, and then you summon the equivalent Gem Knight monster. Gem Knight, my mistake. Gem Knight Fusion monster. And then 99% of the time, you're going to be summoning Seraphonite with this effect, and that's because it's an extra normal summon. In the previous Master Rules, Seraphonite would occupy the extra monster zone, and that was kind of annoying, so you had to link it away. But now you don't have to worry about that anymore. It's back to how it used to be with Brilliant Fusion combos. So, going to 1, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets banned eventually in the OCG, so that's cool. Union Hanger got limited. I mean, if they're going to be hitting ABC Dragon Busters, they might as well hit Union Hanger. I mean, we're back to the old days of the OCG where they had these cards at 1. Like, the OCG really does not like this deck. They really don't. Oh, man. What's next? Red Eyes Fusion got limited. Wow. Okay, Ripperoni's Red Eyes players. Oh, man. I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised they didn't ban Red Eyes Fusion right away. Like, wow, they really are hitting hard on the Dragoon stuff. Like, jeez. Red Eyes Fusion was, like, the key card into summoning Dragoon of Red Eyes out of your deck. So, by hitting all these cards, that actually does make a bit of a difference. So, that's cool. And the thing is, if you draw Red Eyes Fusion, and you haven't summoned your, the Predaplant Link monster, that's kind of Ripperoni's, because that means you must... you cannot normal or special summon for the rest of the turns. You miss out on your normal summon, and that kind of sucks. So, yeah, Red Eyes Fusion is a very restrictive card, but with the Predaplant Link monster, it skips out all of those conditions and costs. So that's why it's so freaking good with that. So, yeah. Gateway of the 6 got limited. Okay. I do not remember if this card was actually... I think it was at 3 in the OCG, actually, which is kind of crazy. But, yeah, it's back to 1 now. We had it banned, then we brought it back to 1, and, you know, Gateway of the 6 is a terribly designed card. It was designed during a time when 6 Samurais were shit. And then we got the legendary 6 Samurais, and then all of a sudden, Gateway of the 6 was good. Was a really good card. Like, way too good. Like, way too good. Like, the fact you can remove Bushido counters from literally anywhere was kind of a dumb decision as well. But the fact that it just benefited 6 Samurais way too good was just... It's just dumb. And that's all for limited cards. Jeez, what a list. Let's for semi-limited cards, we have Malicious going back to 2. I'm surprised that did not happen with the TCG. You think they would have hit Malicious again, but they did not. Draco Net being semi-limited. I mean, I believe, if I remember correctly, the card was limited in the OCG. I don't remember if we hit it at all. I don't think we have. So Draco Net going to 2 is okay. Jackalope going to 2, okay. I believe we did put Jackalope at 2 in the TCG as well. So they're actually going after Dangers now. I mean, they just got Dangers. Like the OCG just got the Danger cards, like a couple of months ago. But they've had it for a little while. I think they got it like last year or the year before, but they had it for a while. Not as long as we did. That's the key thing. Nessie going to 2. I'm surprised they didn't put it at 1. Symbol of Heritage is at 2. Okay. I don't remember if the card was at 1 or it was at 3 in the OCG. I don't remember. We have it at 1 in the TCG. But Symbol of Heritage, for those who don't remember, if you have 3 monsters with the same name in your graveyard, you can special summon one of them. It's basically like Premature Burial, except it benefits decks that play 3 copies of the same monster, and it's very easy to put them all in the graveyard. It was usually the usual combo with this was to use it with a Lone Fire Blossom. You use the Lone Fire Blossom to dump the copies of itself to the graveyard by tributing itself over and over again, and then you use Symbol of Heritage to bring it back again, and then you can summon it to summon any plant you want. Symbol of Heritage was also a card you could loop. There was also a loop you could do with it. I believe it involved Duelorian. What is it? The Tiger King thing from the Icebearers. You could bounce it to your hand and you could use it over and over and over again. So obviously that would have been stupid. So okay, so that's all for semi-limited. So for the unlimited cards, okay, now this is where things get interesting. Candina at 3, okay. I believe they had the card at 1 or 2. So the fact that Life Stage at 1 means that this card does not have to be at 1 anymore. So I think that's cool, I guess. Ash Blossom Joy Spring back to 3. Okay, okay, that is a hit I was not expecting. They had this card at 2 for a while, and honestly, 2 Ash Blossom is a very interesting call, and honestly, I think that's actually kind of cool that Ash Blossom was at 2. I think that was actually kind of cool. It was a very interesting semi-limited, and honestly, that was kind of cool. I kind of wish they did the same thing with the TG, so we don't see hand traps nearly as frequently. But then again, Ash is not as powerful as it used to be. I mean, it's still a very good card, especially if you use Ash at the right time, but a lot of decks play around this card now. It's kind of stupid how easy it is to bait this card out. A lot of people misplay Ash all the time. I mean, everybody misplays Ash every so often. So putting it at 3 is interesting, but at the same time, it kind of signals how less powerful it has gotten over the years. It's not a terrible card. It's not a terrible card. I need to emphasize that. I mean, they're still going to see this card being played all the time, but it's very easy to play around, and that might be the side factor here. Babysaurus at 3, okay. This card used to be limited in the OCG because, well, it's goddamn Babysaurus. Babysarosaurus, my mistake. Card can spawn level 4 dinosaurs out of the deck like nothing. It's stupid. I wonder if they put Soul Eating Oviraptor back to 3 in the OCG list, because they've limited that card as well. So let's see. Unicorn at 3. Okay, so the OCG just straight up has every single Necros card at full power, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 unicorns. That's pretty cool. Lady T-Bug at 3. Okay. And that's it. That is it. That is literally it. If we have to think of, how the TCG is going to be affected, I have a few ideas. They might hit Elfie. They might hit this card for the TCG. They might hit the ABC cards. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Galatea might be limited in the next list of ours. Junk Spear, they might straight up ban it. They might straight up ban this card in the TCG. They could bring back Zem Mighty as long as they ban Hunter while they do it. That would be great. Wind Up Magician as well, if Wind Up Magician is not at 1 in the TCG. I think it's at 3 in the TCG, if I'm not mistaken. Or 2. We don't have Dragoon yet, but Hyper Librarian, they're going to limit that for sure. Trishula as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit... they could hit Scorpio. They could hit the Scorpio engine in the TCG. Totally Awesome going to 1. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that as well. We don't have Link Cross yet. Insta Fusion could get hit in the TCG as well. Malicious could be hit next time as well. And the rest, they could put Unicorn back to 2 or 3. I think that would be cool if TCG Necros decks had this card back at 3. That would be cool. But, yeah. This list is actually very interesting for the OCG people. Obviously, Maxi's still at 3. I don't think the OCG will ever ban that card, like, ever. But it's very interesting, you know, what's going on in Japan, and I'm very curious to see what our list is going to look like. But this is going to give us a pretty good idea of what to expect. So, thank you all so much for being here. I'm sorry I wasted like 30 minutes of your time watching this video. So, I will see you all next time. So, the next video I'm going to be doing is probably going to be the TCG Banlist once that comes out, or the Nintendo Direct if that comes out this week, or the week after. I don't know, like, the Nintendo Direct is nowhere to be found at all. But, hey, I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see. So, see y'all next time. Bye-bye.